I wasn't thinking of doing this, but I think next week we are going back to school. We've been in lockdown for about 4 months now. As you guys probably know me as Zach Scratch, I started. Yeah, I've done live streams since how long? Yeah, it was four or 5 months ago since we started lockdown, and I haven't this weekend. I'm taking a break. I haven't had a break since I've gone live every weekend, just live, killing it with the lives. But anyway, I'm gonna take you guys back how I started, well, what I got into when I was little, like in the music side of things. Think I think that far ahead. When I was 5, I can remember. Then before that, no, I can't really remember. When I was 5, I was into this band called One Direction. As you guys probably do know, I was obsessed with them, killing it with their music, on repeat over and over again. And then how long they lasted to like I feel like they lasted a whole decade, and then obviously bands break up usually, but I think it was a whole decade if I exactly remember. But yeah, I was obsessed with them. My grandmother got me a signed. It was like a picture frame with all the signatures. She got me that, which I loved it, and obviously I think around when I was when I hit around that 10 stage, I think like I was into dance music, but when it comes to high energy, like how many there's high energy, hard house, scouse, bounce, when it comes to that, those types of things, I was no way into that yet. But I love dance music. I love dancing around, obviously by myself, not really in front of people. But yeah, I loved to dance when I was little, jumping around. But anyway, after after One Direction, I got into this band from my uncle. I got into this band called 21 Pilots, which I will show you what they are. Um, so this is the band called 21 Pilots. They came up with how many? They came up with a lot of albums. I think it was about. I'm just gonna guess. I think 5 or 6. Obviously, the latest album's called Scaling Icy. Uh, my uncle got me into this band, and I started, listening. I think they're on their Blurry Face album. Their number one song was called Stressed Out, which when I listened to that, it had a good beat, it had a good, upbeat upbringing and all that. So I was into them for about, geez, how long? About um, quite a while. Probably, I'm gonna guess from year 6. How old was I in year 6? In year 6, I was about. I can't even remember myself. I'm just gonna guess. I think I was about 12 or 13. Actually, no, I was 13. I'm just gonna say that. Could have been 12, but I'm just gonna say 13. I started getting into 21 Pilots, the band. These people was 2 guys. One was the lead singer, one was a drummer, and yeah, I got obsessed with their music for about how many years? Probably about, I'm gonna say, in the middle of year 7. So it sounds like a year and a half. I'm just gonna guess that. Year and a half, I was into their music. They came out. I actually went to one of the concerts. My uncle took me. He surprised me with tickets in year 6. I think it was about on the 31st of December, so just after Christmas in 2006. I actually remember the exact date. So yeah, when I went to that concert was definitely it was actually my first concert. I'm just gonna say my very first concert I've been to. That night was one of my most best nights I've been to. So I'll show you more images of them. This is them. Obviously, I think that guy there, if you can see my mouse, he's the drummer. His name's Josh, and that's Tyler, which is the lead singer. Yeah, so after that, obviously with the whole One Direction thing, I eventually got like so their first album, they came up with I think I'm gonna say 5 albums. I was into their I think third album. I killed the third album. Like what I mean by killed it is I was obsessed with it. Then I looked up more of the music and listened to the second album, killed that as well. And then they came up with a new album in 2018. I'm pretty sure, or could have been, no, it was earlier that. So 2016, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the exact dates, but they came up with an album called Trench, which was a good album as well, totally like different to what I was expecting to the Blurryface album. Like I was into the music where it was more upbeat, which had like, you know, a bit you could, I suppose, groove to, should I say. And yeah, so when their new album came out, I was like with that album, it had, so half the album was upbeat songs, and then the rest of it was kind of, you know, I'm gonna go with the average range, but it was still good, but it's just different style. And I think now when I stopped, I think I stopped around I can't even remember the exact years, so I'm just gonna guess from the top. Middle of year 7, I think. Middle of year 7 to the start of year 8. That's when I changed my whole entire music genre. I started getting to hip hop and rap, such as Tupac, Biggie, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, all of them. I was obsessed with Tupac. I was, you know, always listening to his music. I listened to his music for quite a while. I think he was the longest. I listened to his music from about, like I just said, half year 7 to start to year 8. So it's pretty much all the way up to year 9 where I am now. And then eventually I killed it with his music. I didn't get sick of it. You still can listen to it, but obviously, like it's not because unfortunately he's dead. He died, I think, 1996 by a drive-by shooting. So obviously he stopped making music. Obviously he can't anymore. So RIP to him. Then after that, that's where I got into the dance side of things. But before I tell you that, when I was into Tupac, 21 Pilots, also One Direction, that's when my dad was into such as high energy and dance music, whatever you want to call it. He would play it in the car, and I would be like, I just look at him at the face and be like, "What are you playing? What is this? It sounds like why is it so like?" I don't know the exact word for it, but it's just very fast. Like it's fast. But yeah, I was like, seriously, why are you playing this? It's like, no. So yeah, he would play it, and then I was basically forced to listen to it, shall I say. It was, yeah, so he would play it for about how many years? Like 4 years, probably, pretty much. But he listened to it when I was born. So like he went clubbing back then with the old school DCMs, Liquid, Splash, Rogues, all of those type of nightclubs back then where they played the visual high energy. Yeah, so he pretty much continued after I was born. He still listened to it when, you know, pretty much through my whole childhood of being a teenager till now. And I reckon he'll probably listen to it forever, really. And pretty much on the other side of things, so I got into, when I got into high energy, I think it was about, how long ago was that? About 2 years, no, wait. I'm going to say end of year 8. So that was year 2020. Very interesting year that was, I must say. So when I got into them in 2020, into high energy, I started off with, as you guys probably know, I'll show you. Where is it? So obviously you guys probably know, some of you may not know of Wild FM, which was a classic radio station back in, I think, let's have a look, 1997. The very first Wild FM came out. Unfortunately, I can't exactly remember what year Wild FM stopped, because apparently they weren't a registered radio station or something. I don't exactly know, but Wild FM was the main one back in the day. So I think how many they came up from Wild FM 1 till, how many is there? About, I'm gonna say 17. And then you got more wilds, like such as Wild Anthem, Wild Bass, Wild Energy, Wild Alex K, also more Wild Energy, Wild Nights, Wild Reunion, Wild Summer. So there's like 1,000 wilds, you'd say. Well, I don't know exactly 1,000, but a lot. Wild Trance, Wild Weekends. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of wilds back then. And obviously after that, there was also the Dinky series, which this, compared to Dinky to Wild FM, I feel like Dinky was more the high energy, hard dance type compared to Wild FM. Like, what for me, my opinion for Wild FM, there would have been like only two songs that I liked, and then the others wasn't really a fan of. But the Dinky side of things was more into high energy and hard. So obviously you got Alex K, Project Bass, and Stevie B, KCB, Nick Skits. Who else we got? We got Energize, Dave Austin, Captain Kirk. Who else? I'm naming all the DJs now. We got Drew Koenig. We got DJ Kanu. We got Nick. Yeah, I said Nick Skits. Who else we got? We got Rob Brizzy. Who else we got? So there is a lot of DJs. Even some probably I haven't even mentioned yet. Even Charlie Brown. But yeah, I know I've probably missed some, but yeah, there's a lot out there. And the very first Dinky series was this one, Dave Austin first Chris Creator, Dinky Round 1 First Battle, which as you can see, it's got some of the old school tracks on that. And yeah, I got into that. And then it was on New Year's. I started, like, the first time I got into it, and I was like, oh wow, like this, I'm actually like, I'm dancing to this now. Like it's a whole new different beat. And then yeah, that's how I got into it. But into the DJing side of things, I started, like, I never saw myself as a DJ, as you probably saw on Nick Nova's post, or on when I went did a podcast with him. I never got into things on the, when was it? When I get into it, probably about I feel like, no, it started this year, sorry, when I think of that. It started this year. I never saw myself as a DJ, and then yeah, then I just thought of creating my own mix and then just take it from there and see how that goes. And eventually it worked. And my dad showed me how to mix, and yeah, that's where I took it from. So unfortunately, it's been 15 minutes. I only can record for 15 minutes, which is really annoying. I am going to do a part 2, so make sure you guys tune into that. And thank you for listening to me. And like I said, I'll do a part 2. And yeah, thank you for tuning in.